Hey everyone, my name is Devin Weisner. I'll be your instructor for the Psychology of Leadership, or PSYV471. So welcome to the course. I'm really excited to get to know all of you and to work together through this really fascinating and applicable topic of the psychology of leadership. So what I'd like to do here in this video is to just go over some information about our course homepage, the checklist that I've put together for you, just a little bit of information on your first assignment, where to find due dates, and all of that fun stuff. So what I have this set as now under our course homepage through D2L is me as a student, right? So this is what you should be seeing when you first log in. With the exception of you'll be seeing an announcement by then, since the course will be active. And so what I'd like to point out first is if you scroll down, you'll actually see some information about the official time and date of the course. And this is really important just because we have some of you potentially that are out of the state of Arizona, and so this is the time that we'll be kind of using for all of our due dates and our required live online meetings, which you can see as the next thing there. So we'll be meeting 4 times throughout this semester. I really encourage you, unless something disastrous happens, to be there. It's a really important part in terms of gaining as much as you can out of this course, as well as it's very difficult to make things up, especially without a valid reason for that. So please take a look at this, the dates, put them in your calendar as soon as possible if you haven't already. And then there's some information about me. So please reach out to me. Either send me an email as preferable as the first thing. If you don't hear from me within a few hours or a day, please shoot me a text message. I think it's just very important, since we're in a 7.5-week course. We don't want to waste any time due to, say, a message going to the spam folder, or the university's email has been known to have some issues. So please let me know if you have problems. Similarly, if you have technology issues, I can't troubleshoot a lot of it. So please contact the 24/7 IT support through the university for that. And I've included a link to their contact information, as well as if you need any sort of tutoring, say for writing, I've included a link to the think tank there, which is just a great resource if you're looking to improve something like that. So next thing, let's talk about the checklist. Since this, again, is a short course, I'm going to keep emphasizing that. We're packing in 15 weeks worth of material in 7.5 weeks, so this goes super quick. And that's why I think that this checklist, so if we go up here to checklist, is just really helpful. This breaks it down by our lessons, and it breaks it down by actually items within each lessons that need to be completed. So this has things, the tasks that are due, when they're due, and a little bit more information. So it's not just, hey, go do this. It's more of a, you should look at the syllabus. If you're having an issue getting your textbook, talk to Joe, and then what you need to do afterwards to consider that task finished. So we've got a checklist, check box here, which is optional. So this is not for me. This is for you. If you like lists, I'm a big list person. Couldn't operate at the level that I operate if I weren't using checklists all the time. So please, make this work for you. If it just helps to review it and not use the checkbox, feel free. So that's really what works for you is most important. So now what I'd like to do is just kind of give you a little bit of information on our site. So we use D2L for things like our discussions and our quizzes, but what we don't use it for is information about the lessons, and oftentimes downloading documents for, say, things that need to be completed, such as different surveys and things like that. So we use a separate course site, which actually really simplifies things, and sometimes it takes a little while to see how it does that. But you can access that by clicking on this site button here. So if you didn't see that, it says site here. So once you click on that, it'll open a new window for you, and here is our course website. So it gives you a little bit of information about the class. the different tools we use, a little bit of information about myself, and then it also contains our syllabus, and within our syllabus is our calendar, information about how I'll be grading things throughout the semester, what type of assignments that you can expect to have, and then extra credit opportunities, which in the psych world we consider organizational citizenship behaviors. So if you haven't heard that term before, look it up. It's really pretty interesting, especially in the workplace, and that's kind of what we're going for here is the most applicable way and things that you can take out into the real world. So that's how we'll deal with extra credit. In addition to that, we've got lessons that'll be broken up into all of our lessons, and again, all of this corresponds back to that D2L checklist. And then we have our cases. So again, this talks about case grading. What are case analyses? Maybe you've had exposure to that. If so, great. I still encourage you to read this just to see if maybe it's a little bit different than it's been handled in classes you've had before, as well as information on all the cases. So that being said, where I'd like to take you is under our syllabus, assuming you've read most of it already, but let's go to the calendar section of our syllabus. And things are moving slow today, but you can see it within this window, but if you want to open it up within the Google Drive, either just to see it in a bigger window or to print it, you can go ahead and hit this arrow button here and open that up. It'll pop up into another window for you. And so here we see everything from due dates, the corresponding lessons, if there are any readings that are associated with it, and then of course assignments, right? And so here you can expect that everything's in D2L unless it's noted otherwise. So what you'll want to look for is anything that says, hey, this is a Google document. That's where you're completing it. It's not a quiz, which would be found within D2L. So this falls into the category of if you're struggling to find something, please let me know. Or within the discussion section, you can post in the area that everyone else can see your question, and maybe somebody else has the answer and they'll be able to get to it quicker than I will. But please, by all means, shoot me an email. If you don't hear from me within a day, send me a text message, because we want to make sure that you know exactly what you need to do within the week to stay caught up. There's just not enough time to fall behind and catch back up again. So that being said, let's take a look. Our first assignment, aside from our readings here and our quizzes, is to go out and actually ask a few people about their definition of leadership, right? So what you'll do, actually, how you do it is up to you, whether you're talking with people or you go on to social media and say, hey, what's your definition of leadership? I'm asking because of my course. So if you do something like that, what I would like you to do is go into this Google document, and again, hyperlink, because I want everything to be as easily accessible as possible. But you will go into this link and you'll actually be able to see what others have done. And so let's look first at fall of 17. So once you've asked the appropriate number of people what their definition of leadership is, and again, all the information about how many people to ask and what to ask, that's all included on the lesson page in terms of your first assignment. So please review all of that thoroughly. But what you'll see here in fall of 17 is that the definition of leadership from the participants that the students had asked about their definitions have been transcribed here, right? And they assign them an ID number, and what really helps is if you're doing 10 people, the first would do 1 through 10, and then 11, and so on, and things like that, just to keep this clean. And so what you're going to be doing is transcribing that definition, as I already said, and then coding the response. So is it leader-centric? Are they talking about a leader in their definition of a leader? Are they talking about a follower? or the environment and the situation. And so maybe they mention all three, maybe they mention two of three, and so that's actually where you'll be noting either a 1 or a 0. A 1 meaning they did mention it, a 0 meaning it was never mentioned. So that's the first part of this assignment. So entering all that in will enable us to get started with that. Again, if you're looking for instructions on that lesson and that assignment, please go into under lessons to Intro to Leadership as a Process. And then assuming you'll be reading all through the learning objectives, the specific texts that you'll be using, some of these key definitions, just some tips on how to work smarter, not harder, because again, 7.5 weeks, and these are actually tips that, trust me, you can bring into graduate school and work afterwards, and how to be efficient in how you're learning, as opposed to trying to learn all the things. Learn the things that you need to learn. So then we move into the apply your knowledge. So again, finding out what exactly you need to do for this first assignment is going to be located under the apply knowledge. And so there's some more information about how to enter your responses from your participants about defining leadership, some information about your discussion, and then checking your learning. So we do that through quizzes on chapters 1 and 2. And again, so you'll have something similar to this in each one of your lessons going forward. So that being said, I can't emphasize enough familiarizing yourself with D2L as well as the Psychology of Leadership website, which again contains your syllabus, your lessons, and your cases. And so the sooner you become familiar with that, really the easier it'll be just to navigate through everything in the coming weeks. So all that said, I'm really excited to get started with all of you on this content. If you have questions for me, please do not hesitate to let me know. And just remember, if you're having issues with textbooks, please contact Jo at the bookstore. She is phenomenal. In my first announcement here with the video, you'll have her contact information. If you're struggling with any IT, connecting to Adobe Connect for our first discussion here soon is going to be really important. So please go to Adobe Connect, get yourself all situated with that so that you're not struggling at the start of the discussion time, the day of. Do it right away. Get yourself situated so that we're hitting the ground running and successfully. And again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to let me know. Okay? So have a great week, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Thanks so much.